I'm Anne-Marie from brambleberry.com, and today I'm doing something pretty special. This book, Soap Crafting, came out 10 years ago. I can hardly believe it. So we're doing a throwback recipe, this really cute painted hearts recipe that uses the Bramble Berry 18 Bar Birchwood Mold and creates these really appealing, gorgeous designs and perfectly shaped bars. It's scented with Rosehip Jasmine, which is a classic Bramble Berry fragrance. We've probably had it 20 years because it performs so well in cold process soap and smells delicious. For this particular technique, where we end up doing designs on the top and then kind of swirling them on the top, you really do need a well-behaved fragrance because you need to work with a thin trace for a long time. Okay, I'm suited up for safety and kids and pets are out of the area. I'm in a well-ventilated room and I have appropriate amounts of time to make the soap, roughly an hour from start to finish. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put our color into our squeeze bottles. It's just about a teaspoon of the dispersed black, and then I'm gonna eyeball the white so I don't get another spoon dirty. And then we will add soap to this at very thin trace. So now let's go ahead and get our lye water in, and it's a pretty big batch, and so this is gonna get pretty full. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about lifting and pouring. I've got my mold already fully assembled, so that way I don't have to worry about that later. Stick blender in, burp the stick blender, make sure any air bubbles are gone. And then when you stick blend, just make sure you're moving your stick blender around. You don't want any of the spots to get too over stick blended. And before I fragrance, I'm just gonna pour about 4 ounces of this soap each into the condiment squeeze bottles. And that way I'm going to have something to be able to make my heart design on top. And like I said, it's a lot of soap. Just pour up, make sure you're ready for that. You're gonna end up with extra white and black soap, but you wanna have enough that the soap is gonna come out in a fluidity. So you do want at least 4 ounces in there. And then you're going to cover these up, and you are gonna shake. So shake the white first, and then shake the black. And you do wanna make sure that you have your tip fully covered when you gently shake. And make sure you're wearing gloves. This is raw soap. It will irritate your skin. And that's gonna kind of poof. Yep, there you go. And when you take your finger off the black, it's gonna maybe spoot a little bit. So you wanna make sure that you don't have it anywhere near anything. Now we're going to add our colorant. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna whisk this in to make sure I have enough time to work. Gonna eyeball this color, see how we're doing. So this recipe uses a lot of hard oils, and so it gets thicker a lot faster. It's one of the reasons we're using such a forgiving fragrance, and one of the reasons that I am just hand whisking this color in, then gonna hand whisk our fragrance oil in. I love this pink. It's so romantic and soft, and the Rosehip Jasmine, it's gonna go great with it. I'm gonna hand whisk this in. Oops. Gonna hand whisk this in. And my mold is all ready to go. And I am using the Bramble Berry liner in there to make it extra smooth and extra easy. And then I don't have to line the mold, which is also really nice. So this is a beautiful, just gorgeous medium trace. This is acting wonderfully. I don't want it to get much thicker because then I won't be able to get my hearts to really drag well. So I'm gonna pull my mold over. I have my dividers already made. They will not go in until later. So now I'm gonna pour this in. And oh, that is just gorgeous. I cannot get over the look of freshly poured soap. It is such a beautiful sight. And I've been making soap for so long that it feels really comforting to me when I see a trace that is just like this nice medium trace. I know the soap isn't going to separate in the mold, but I know it's going to be fluid enough to let me make my design. And so now I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to actually just tamper with it just a little bit, make it a little bit smoother. So now, in order to make the design, we are going to make dots in a pattern. And the dots need to be close enough together that we can actually use them to try and make an interesting heart design. And we're going for a heart per soap. And it's kind of more of an artistic, abstract heart, not gonna lie, but it ends up being a really fun technique to kind of give the illusion of a heart and just give a little bit of texture and motion on your bar of soap. And you can do this with any colors, actually. I did white and black because I think they stand out really nicely. I'm just gonna kind of jiggle this to make sure that our colors are nicely kind of staying flat. And then depending on how good of an artist you are, you might end up wanting to do a thick dowel to do the pour, a thin dowel to do the pull through. And I am going to practice and play with kind of a few different options and see what we like best for this particular trace. You can see our trace is thickening up just a little. Whoa, yikes, I'm gonna have to fix that. And that's just fine. You are gonna end up, even with a slightly thicker trace, getting a fantastic artistic swirl. So now what we do is we take our color and we pull and we drag and we pull and we drag and we pull and we drag. And right now, these are kind of looking like happy little ghosts to me, but that looks like a heart. I like that. And then you just pull and drag. Abstract hearts, here we come. And we have a few more. And so when you end up, when you're like, well, what am I gonna do? This one hasn't been pulled. All you do is think, okay, pull and drag, because you're going for an abstract heart, a little bit of colorful movement in there. Pull and drag and pull. Now this does not look like a heart, but we're just gonna fake it till we make it. And now every single one has a drag through it. Now you can either leave it like this, or I really like to put my dividers in and drag these designs down. And so when you do this, you squeeze gently from the side so your dividers don't fall apart. You take it, you place it, and then you gently push down. And since our trace is nice and medium thick, so we've hit a much thicker trace because of all that palm kernel oil flakes in here. The soap bars look a little rounded when you pull them out. And now you can put this on a heat pad, which is going to get you a brighter color, which I really like to do. Spray it with 99% rubbing alcohol if you're worried about soda ash, and then you'll be ready to unmold in a day or two. And don't forget, this mold also comes with a lid. If you like to really insulate, or say you're making like 10 batches of these and you just want to stack it up to the ceiling, here you go. So this actually is really good insulation with this lid and this full, beautiful birchwood thickness. So I made this a day ago and it's already ready to unmold thanks to a nice thick trace and the power of sodium lactate. And the Bramble Berry silicone liners make it so easy to unmold. So now, this is the kind of tricky part about this mold, is trying to figure out where to start. What I like to do is just, since the soap is actually just sitting on the dividers, there's a little bit of pocket here. And so what I like to do is just push down gently with my fingers to try and break that lock, and then come over an edge and just push that soap out. And you want to push straight down. You never pull, because if you pull, you tear. So you can see gorgeous, beautiful lines, absolutely shiny, really nice. And so then I like to just do that on every single one on the sides. And then once you get the sides out, you can choose to try and get the dividers out by kind of manipulating them back and forth, or you can just keep pushing out. And I find these to be really easy to push out if you just go from the side with a little bit of a lip or an edge. One of the nice things about this mold is the bars of soap that it creates fit so nicely in the hand. It's just a beautiful shape and allows you to get some really cool patterns and designs on top. So when you make this project, you can choose to use the dividers or not. I love to use the dividers because, again, I love that size and shape, and it creates a really cool drag. But if you don't want the drag and you just want the design on top, then you can go ahead and, of course, just not use the dividers. But I love using the dividers just because it's really easy to get beautiful, clean, gorgeous, smooth sides, nice shape, and cool design. If you like this project, of course, give it a thumbs up, thank you, and subscribe to our channel so you're notified each and every time a new video comes out. And when you do your creations on all the socials, please hashtag it BrambleOn. We love to see what you create. Until next time, happy soaping. Take a picture of this. Oh no, I already took a picture of this.
Do you want it thicker or thinner?
No, I want everything. Okay. I want everything. I want every tool at my disposal.
Do we want thin or thick?
Every tool.
Okay.
Don't know what it is, but can you believe Shania Twain is still touring? That's amazing. No, because I drink out of that all the time. That is absolutely, I'm a hip person.
It's like the game Don't Break the Ice.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna do that.
Little munchkins. All right.